Why don't we get that thing behind the wheel? Perfect. The Kart Racer. Any mascot character's introduction to the video game industry. There is just so many of these.
I mean, the idea is genius, honestly.
Not all scenarios make sense for every character. Like, if you're gonna make a video game based on the movie Ants, what's it gonna be about? Okay, I mean, this is a pretty bad example. Probably not racing. Nope, there it is. I mean, mascot kart racers are the easiest cash grab on the planet. They don't really have to be good. They just have to be playable, then they'll make a quick buck, and then they'll fall into obscurity. So how on earth did these idiots screw it up? M&ms Kart Racing, infamously known as one of the worst kart racers on the planet, let alone one of the worst video games of all time.
Now this is an incredibly low bar.
I would dive a lot deeper into the development leading up to the release, but let's be honest, this is a kart racing game featuring the M&ms. This was made simply because product exists, make more product out of it. Anywho, I picked this game up the other day for like $10. So there's a lot at stake here, saying as I am unemployed. Now this isn't my first deep dive into the M&ms. I've actually had my fair share of time with them. Safe to say, my hopes were through the roof. M&ms Kart Racing is a game that, in this case on the Wii, pins each M&m against each other in a high-stakes race around the whole MCU. And by that, I mean the M&ms cinematic universe. You got such staples like the Chocolate Factory, House, or the Streets. Once you pick your map, you're faced with the most difficult decision of your life. Which M&m will I be bonded with forever? This time, I'm going with the red M&m. He's rocking the cowboy hat here, and I don't know, man, I just think it's so funny. Once you pick your character, then your chariot awaits. And this is something we gotta talk about. Most kart racers like to make balanced karts, some with better handling and worse speed, or vice versa, stuff like that. But M&ms, on the other hand, nah, they just straight up have vehicles that are better than others, like
a tasty combination.
Now, it is time to race. Soon. Okay, soon. Nope, we're still waiting. Okay, now.
Start your engines.
Goodness gracious.
Ready? Set? Go!
Perfect start.
This might be the best video game I've ever played. This game is flooded with incredibly awkward dialogue and multiple announcers for some reason. And who in the M&ms universe is Foxy? Like, is that the green one? Not that I'm saying she is Foxy, but it can't be because green is listed above, so what? For some reason, this game doesn't have a reverse button. Like, yeah, 9 times out of 10, a good kart racer doesn't really require it, but it should always be there. Yeah, no, it's not here, and if you screw up on one of these game's poorly designed turns, you get caught and the game plays a rather loud screeching sound. But it's okay, with no reverse button, you'd assume the tracks make up for it. They do not. Tracks like the House are filled with teeny tiny doorways that you have to squeeze through, then immediately follow up with a 180-degree turn. Most of the tracks, if your handling was way tighter, could be a bit playable, but due to your loose handling, these things just aren't fun. Unless you come to a near complete stop, you'll be constantly running into things. The only maps that aren't really a nightmare to play are the ones like the Streets because they're wider than the others. That's not me saying those maps are good, that's me saying they're almost playable. And some of these tracks are long. I'm a firm believer in the idea that a kart racer should not have tracks that take longer than 4 minutes. Anything over that, and you've overstayed your welcome. Especially in a game where there's no items. Yeah, no, M&ms Kart Racer does not have any goofy items to help you catch up. You literally just drive, and not that fast, might I add. The tracks and pretty much the whole game kind of blend together at a certain point. What doesn't help is like, what kind of style are they going for? Like, if I'm playing a candy-themed racing game, I'd assume there'd be more candy-themed tracks rather than seeing these scary, dingy locations. There's at least 2 candy-themed tracks as you play through the game, and they're not the best tracks, but you sit there and think, man, why isn't this the whole game? They should be in a candy world, not the streets. The game does also have unlockables. They're acquired through the chocolate coins. The more you get, the more carts you can race with, but if you're playing multiplayer and player 2 collects any of them, they don't count towards your total. Cool. From the tracks to the gameplay to the unlockables, it's incredibly hard to say anything positive about the game. Even the multiplayer is messed up. For some reason, the camera is zoomed in way too much. Like, in what world do I need to be this close to the orange M&M? Now, the green one, on the other hand, that's a different story. But when the camera is as close as it is, and since the game does not feature widescreen, you cannot tell what you're doing. And racing blind in a kart racer is probably one of the worst things you could do, especially when your track layouts are bad. It gets even worse if you pick a big kart, because then it takes up so much more of your little screen. From piss-miserable stage design, annoying announcers, unbalanced carts, really bad CPUs, forgettable stages, and piercing sound effects, this game is hard to talk about in a positive light.
Now look, M&M's Kart Racing might be a bad video game,